Hi, my name is Anna and welcome to my kitchen. And today we'll be making King Arthur's caramel chocolate cheesecake with praline pecans, but I'll be adding my own twist on it. Alright, we're gonna be adding butter, room temperature, and half a cup of sugar. The recipe uses powdered sugar, but I'm gonna be using granulated because that's honestly all I had on hand. And 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Oh yes, I'm gonna add espresso powder because honestly, anytime I'm making a chocolate dessert, I always add espresso. Okay, now I'm gonna add half a teaspoon, actually let's just make it 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So it's gonna be almost like graham cracker, like that graham cracker consistency when you're making graham cracker crust. I enjoy doing this. So we're gonna add the mix to the pan. I'm just gonna use my hands. I try to not use my hands when I'm baking, but honestly, it's the best tool, except when you're handling hot things. I should know. So as I was saying earlier, if it wasn't for Levi, I really wouldn't have discovered how much I love baking. So prior to him, I was an accountant when I was in Miami. And
this cake gonna be good.
It is gonna be good. And honestly, I did love it, but when we came back, when we moved to Seattle, I didn't want to do it anymore. So one day I started watching the Great British Bake Off and they were making a babka and I was like, oh my God, I want to make that. So I called John, I was like, hey babe, I was watching this show called the Great British Bake Off. There's this thing called a babka. It's a Jewish dessert. I want to make it for you. And he's like, okay, cool. Mind you, I've never baked before that, especially a babka. But needless to say, it came out really well the 3rd time. The first time it was a mess. But after that, I discovered how much I love baking and
my gummies.
Just went from there. Okay. So King Arthur's recipe, they make their own caramel. I decided that, actually the reason why I'm not following exactly the recipe is because not only did I want to add my own twist on it, and I thought I was doing that with just the hazelnuts, but I was walking through the supermarket and I couldn't find caramel candies. You are a great helper. And I couldn't find the caramel candies. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I need caramel for this recipe. And then I was like, oh my God, Dulce de Leche. And then because I saw the can of condensed milk, and I decided to make Dulce de Leche out of it. So it's really easy to do that. So what you wanna do is you basically wanna put an entire can of condensed milk in a pot and boil it for 3 hours, soft boil. And basically you get something that looks exactly like this. No.
No, I got it. I'm poor.
Hold on.
I'm gonna help her.
We gotta pour it all over and we gotta mix. That's what we're doing.
Mix it. Right.
See, so right now it looks like this and it's almost there. But there's big pieces of chocolate and this is why I say you wanna chop it as finely as possible or as small as possible. So now we're gonna make the cream cheese filling and I'm gonna start by adding 1 cup of brown sugar to a stand mixer, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then a pinch of salt. I'm gonna mix this just to mix it all together. Perfect. And now I'm going to add basically 1 pound and 3 ounces of cream cheese. It's gonna be delicious. Right, so now that's all mixed. We're gonna add the last package of cream cheese. So I wanna add half a teaspoon of espresso powder, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Mix this. I'm going to start adding the eggs one by one. So now we're gonna add the chocolate mixture. Do not waste chocolate. especially Theo. All right. I just want to mix it a little bit more. And then we're gonna add the dulce de leche to this. Gonna mix that. So now we're gonna add the rest of the batter. Okay. I just want to eat this batter by itself. We're gonna put it in a roasting pan. I'm gonna add 2 cups of water to this pan. I placed the springform pan inside of a roasting pan. I'm gonna add water. I think that's an inch. So we're gonna put it in the oven at 325 for 55 minutes, and then we're gonna check it around the 45-minute mark to see where it's at, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so it's the next day. We're gonna take out our cheesecake from the fridge. As you can see, it came out really nice. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the ganache. So we're gonna put a ganache on top of the cheesecake. Very easy. You only need 2 ingredients: chocolate and heavy cream. So I already have the heavy cream inside of my pot. And we're gonna heat this up, chop up this chocolate, add it to this bowl. I just wanna eat this chocolate. He's very independent. He likes to do everything himself. All right, now we gotta put the milk or the cream inside of the chocolate, okay? All right.
Let me.
You wanna have a go?
Wait. Let me have a. Wait.
Okay, you have a go. You gotta keep stirring until it gets nice and glossy.
What so we're making then?
We're making chocolate ganache.
Oh, no. We're making chocolate ganache.
Yeah. So now I'm going to make the sugar for the hazelnuts by having 1 cup of brown sugar, by adding 1 cup of brown sugar and about 1/4 cup of water. Real hot. Put it down to low heat. Make sure when I mix it in, make sure that everything is coated. Just gonna stir it this one time to make sure everything is mixed together, and then after that we're not gonna touch it. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing for like the next 8 minutes, and then we're gonna mix them all together. And then I'm gonna get the cheesecake and pour the ganache over it, and then I'm going to show you guys how I decorate the cheesecake. So now one of my favorite parts is drizzling the ganache over the cheesecake. So we're gonna do this by placing the cheesecake inside of a roasting pan, because I'm gonna have the chocolate fall in there. And now we're gonna place it back in the fridge for about 30 minutes just so the ganache can harden and I can finish decorating it. The final stretch of this cheesecake. Now it's just the decorating part. So I'm gonna decorate using a few things. Candied hazelnuts, the rest of the dulce de leche that I used for the filling. Now I'm gonna just use it to drizzle. So I put it in my piping bag, aka a Ziploc bag, and made a little cut. And then chocolate shavings from Theo. And then because I personally like to add flowers to my desserts, it's absolutely optional, I'm gonna add little lavender buds. So let's get started. Perfection right here. A little bit more drizzle. Sunday. Perfect. Making it look neat but messy, which is my style. chocolate shavings. I use a vegetable peeler. Now for the sugar, the lavender buds. So I'm gonna do like, I'm gonna call myself Lavender Babe. It's looking so pretty. And that is the cheesecake. Please zoom in on this damn cheesecake. So I hope you guys enjoyed the making of this cheesecake, or should I say, this Dulce de Leche chocolate cheesecake. It was a lot of fun to make and also a little nerve-wracking, but we got through it. Thankfully, it came out amazing. It tastes great. The texture is incredible. It's silky, it's rich, it's decadent. It's everything I love about any chocolate dessert. And I want to give a big thank you to Theo and King Arthur for giving me this opportunity to bake this cheesecake for them. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.